The generative AI boom has created a market so saturated that industry analysts are now projecting a mass extinction event, one where 95% of current AI startups are likely to disappear. This vulnerability starts with the complete collapse of technical barriers. Using an API, a set of tools that lets one program talk to another, a founder can access OpenAI's most advanced models for about 10 cents per million tokens. Tokens are essentially the basic units of text or code that the AI processes. This creates a staggering imbalance. While big tech companies are spending trillions on data centers and energy infrastructure, including specialized manufacturing at plants like this TSMC facility, a startup can rent that same intelligence for the price of a coffee. This democratization has led venture capitalists to fund thousands of identical companies. These startups often possess no proprietary technology or unique back-end logic. They are essentially just a few lines of code passing data to a third-party model. When every developer on Earth has cheap access to the exact same artificial brain, the technology itself ceases to be a competitive advantage. It becomes a commodity trap. These companies are often called AI wrappers. They consist of a thin user interface and a subscription fee layered on top of a foundation model like GPT-4 or Claude. Their technical foundation is fragile. A product's entire brain is frequently contained within a single JSON payload, a text-based format for sending data, transmitted to a third party. The startup manages the interface, but the platform manages the intelligence. This triggers platform encroachment. Providers use these startups as free market research, tracking successful use cases. They let thousands experiment, then integrate the best patterns, absorbing the value and erasing the middleman. Within 18 months, OpenAI eliminated 4 major wrapper categories by launching its own features. The writing tool Jasper, for instance, saw its valuation slashed after ChatGPT introduced competing tools, and many PDF-focused apps shut down within weeks of a platform update. Relying on rented intelligence from a potential competitor creates a cycle of forced obsolescence. Even if the platforms don't compete with you, the market might drown you. Developers are currently launching dozens of identical tools simultaneously. In one documented week, 73 different PDF chat wrappers hit the market at once. This oversaturation triggers choice overload. Behavioral studies show that as options increase, conversion rates can drop by 10 times. When consumers face more than 10 identical AI products, decision paralysis often prevents them from buying anything at all. Many founders operate under a moat mirage. They believe a clever system prompt or a basic interface tweak creates a defensible moat, a barrier that prevents competitors from stealing their customers. In reality, wrappers have no switching costs. A competitor can perfectly replicate a wrapper's entire business positioning and functionality over a single weekend because they are both using the same underlying API. Combined with choice paralysis and platform encroachment, these economics make the 95% failure rate a statistical certainty. Building the software is now the easiest part. Acquiring users without a structural moat is where most companies fail. The startups that survive focus on workflow depth. They build software so deeply integrated into a customer's daily operations, trained on specific preferences and embedded in billing or management systems, that moving to a competitor would take months. Survival requires proprietary data accumulation. Every user interaction must generate data that is used to fine-tune the model, a process of adjusting its parameters to make it more accurate for a specific task. A specialized legal AI, for example, is trained on years of restricted case outcomes and expert corrections. This creates a data moat that a generic competitor cannot simply scrape or buy, allowing the tool to permanently outperform general-purpose models. For these companies, the foundation model API is just a raw ingredient. The actual product is the proprietary data and the deep integration into the user's life. To reach that depth, founders have to break through the distribution desert by doing things that do not scale, a core principle of focusing on manual, high-effort tasks that build early loyalty. When the founders of Stripe were starting out, they didn't just release a beta link, they used the Collison installation. If someone agreed to try their service, the founders would physically take the person's laptop and install it right then, ensuring the setup was perfect. They also constrained their market. By launching to a narrow, hyper-specific group, like Harvard students, a founder can create a contained fire of adoption that is much easier to manage and improve than a broad, generic launch. This level of attentiveness allows a founder to provide an insanely great experience, even if the initial product is buggy. This human-driven loyalty builds a foundation that a generic, automated AI wrapper cannot replicate. Survival in an era of commoditized intelligence requires the one thing an API cannot automate: deeply manual human effort.